Good morning, good afternoon. Everybody hungry? Yeah, you just have to see this session is worth the wait for the food, I can tell you that. So thank you very much. I'm so excited that you're joining us today. I'm Siki Junta, and let's get straight to the presentation. I work for HCL Tech. HCL Tech is a leading system integration provider of services for our clients that help in their cloud-enabled transformation. We are a very large corporation. We have hyper growth and a tremendous engaged client base. I run as well we are a Google Next here. So I run as well the CloudSmart team. CloudSmart is really the umbrella strategy offering for cloud, multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, with a product-centric approach, industrialized delivery. And as part of that strategy, I am very proud that I am the leader for the Google Business Unit. So the Google Business Unit is the organization that really organize and interact with Google. And at the same time, we provide and engage together in the field. And the last and most important, we co-develop a lot of solutions for our clients. We talked a lot about, Gen AI, we'll talk about it later on, but that's probably our stronger emerging practice at the moment. We'll be honored with the Global Expansion Partner as well, something that we are very, very proud. The Global Social Impact Partner. We are very strong, socially centric organizations. We have large communities. We have a very strong sense of sustainability internal at HCL. So what it is CloudSmart? CloudSmart really is a platform of offering technology strategy that we share with our clients. We normally work on their North Star in their evolution of cloud-enabled transformation. We have a series of methodologies through, we say, workshop that is board to keyboard. Everything is very much keyboard-centric. Engineering is at the heart of what we do. That's why I think a platform like Google Cloud mesh very well with our culture of engineers, of innovators all the time. And as well, we evolve with the client in their business outcome. As you know, technology and people is great, but if it doesn't bring a business impact, a lot of time it gets abandoned and not well implemented. So that's through our CloudSmart platform. That's where we interact with our clients. Here it's our booth, but the concept is that when you do cloud-enabled transformation, you have different journeys that you undertake. And this is our ways, and we call it the smart ways. There is a journey to cloud, and that's not only application. Actually, lately, with the impact of AI, a lot of data journey to cloud, because the AI is as good as the data that you have available and that you can use it in your model in the cloud. And a lot of innovation happens in the cloud, a lot of modernization, a lot of 5G, everything that is built new to create capability for the business. And we have a last way that is a supporting implementations is when we look at the operating model, we look at the strategy and the ROI. So I look forward to meeting most of you at the booth and show you this three-dimensional way that we engage with our clients in their journey to cloud-enabled transformations. So on that, I would like to, first of all, concentrate on our relationship with Google and the partnership that we have today, together. So I want to invite Sonia Fife to come and join me on stage. Sonia, please come through. So Sonia will really get into the, why we are here, the client and why CPG and the technology that we do together. Thank you for the support, for coming, and I give you the most important item on stage. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you, Siki. It is indeed a pleasure to be here today with HCL Tech, our luminary sponsor, and for sure one of our leading strategic partners that we have at Google Cloud. And I also look forward today to hearing from Keurig Dr Pepper. When I was speaking with Siki, she asked me to make a couple of comments about the retail and consumer goods industry and the context that we're in. And I have to say, there couldn't be a better time for us to be talking about the whole area of supercharging transformation in the retail and consumer goods industry. We're in a dynamic environment that we have really never seen before in the industry. And we know that on the retail side of the business, transformation is really no longer a choice, it's a race. And in consumer goods, where we've seen growth at a really steady CAGR of about 4%, we begin to see some pressure and compression in margins. Mm-hmm. And why are we seeing that? Well, if I talk to many of you, our customers, if I talk to leaders in the industry, it's not long before I hear terms like tight labor markets. I hear terms like global inflation, the digitalizing consumer, the whole area of higher consumer expectations, personalization, channel-less shopping, the importance of more productivity, particularly in areas of manufacturing, and in the supply chain, continued disruption. All of these areas have CIOs and business leaders really focusing in on a few different areas where digital transformation and business transformation has become really critically important. These four areas have been extremely important to our CIOs and business leaders as they think about transformation in the context of the industry. The first is unlocking consumer growth, how you're able to do that with more of the insights that you can get from data. We're at a time when marketing is certainly being reinvented, and each consumer really wants to be reached in that personalized way. We know that with data, we can make that more efficient for our consumers. Innovation needs to be more agile, and understanding consumers better in the changing context is critical to be able to succeed. Leaders are focused on selling. In the CPG context, we know that's in an ecosystem that really has become channelless. Frictionless shopping experiences are even more important. And with inflation, areas like pricing optimization, revenue growth management are top of mind on how data can help as we think about these changes in the context of our customers. Retail transformation is focused on personalized experiences for consumers and customers. And from that standpoint, that personalization needs to be done in a context where the customer has better experiences, but also the associate has better experiences. We know that there is now a focus on an ecosystem of data, and the ability to connect consumer goods data and retail data has never been more important. There's also the need for more improvements in the areas of the operations of the business, from supply chains being reinvented all the way into other operations in manufacturing and in the store operations as we look across retail and CPG. And I'm thrilled to be working also in a time where in the area of sustainability, the need to move from talk to action in this area is increasing dramatically. So we know that we're in a time of continued change. And why we're thrilled is that we see AI as playing an exciting role in a very, very changing time in the context of how we're operating today. AI is indeed the next big shift that we see happening. And with the shift that's taking place in AI, and I would add to that the conversation we'll have even more later on generative AI, we see leading companies like KDP and other customers who are here really taking advantage of AI to create incremental value throughout the value chain. speeding up the pace of decision making, becoming more efficient, and creating higher levels of value. Now, of course, Google is an AI native company, and our AI innovation is part of the transformational cloud and is foundational to what we do. Modern infrastructure with scalability, performance, and at right cost and security is critical to be able to succeed in this environment. At Google, we remain committed to working with an ecosystem of partners, including HCL as one of the largest partners that we work with today. I'm excited to have the conversation that we're going to have today on supercharging transformation with Keurig Dr Pepper.
Thank you, Sonia. So, without further delay, let's have the star of the show, Chief Wentz for KDPR. All right, so we are going to take this as a question and answer sessions so that we can all get the experience of, of KDP. Yep. So tell us a little bit about you, first of all.
Yep, so I spent most of my career at Ernst & Young in the consulting practice there. And I was a partner in the security consulting practice. And I came over to KDP in 2019 as the Chief Information Security Officer. And about 18 months ago, I also got this role, VP of Technical Services. And really what that is the team that works for me, we do everything from infrastructure to hosting to network, end-user computing, collaboration, architecture and engineering, and then application support and development. So,
awesome. So I know that this project that we have been working together was created by the merger of the company together. Just let us know a little bit why they came about and how this project helped.
Yep. To start this, we've got to go all the way back to 2018. There were really two sides of the business. The hot side of the business, the coffee side of the business, and the soda side of the business. And so when Dr. Pepper and Keurig merged together, we really had two different companies that really had two different philosophies with how they did things. And so the Dr. Pepper side of the business really sweated assets.
Yes.
And they were not utilizing cloud. They had a lot of legacy technology. And as part of that, it was working for the business. So they didn't really invest in it. Keurig Green Mountain on the other side was a multi-cloud provider, and they really were investing in technology to try to make the experience for the consumer better. And so what the company saw together was being able to bring really the two different sides of the business together so that they could transform the beverage industry, honestly, so that they could provide the perfect beverage to the perfect person at the right time. So
awesome. And while doing that, they created the third largest beverage company in the world. So that was a pretty interesting exercise. So when the team started working together, what were the first impacts and that kicked off really the project?
So I would say that there were really three main objectives that we started working with. Really it was simplification, stabilization, and integration. And so around simplification, the idea was really to transform to a simpler, faster, and more flexible infrastructure, right? We had all this legacy environment from Dr. Pepper. We had kind of a modernized environment at Keurig Green Mountain. And so there was really a couple things. It was really to prioritize vendor consolidation so that we could achieve some cost reduction measures that we put forward to the street. We said by doing this, we're going to actually, have some cost savings come out of the business. So when we started this in 2018, the goal was really to consolidate down from 6 data centers and 4 service providers.
All right.
Right. And so we took this step. We utilized GCP as our primary hosting provider and HCL as our primary service provider. As part of this, we didn't get rid of everything into the cloud. And so part of the simplification allowed us to leverage a colo facility. So we left some things in a colo facility. And that's really where we staged all of our misfit toys, right? It were things that weren't ready to go to cloud.
Yeah.
And it really provided us a holding place so that we could refactor them and then move them when they were ready. So.
Absolutely. That's a very sound strategy.
Yep. And then let me dig in. So,
Sure.
and then stabilization, right? We really wanted to utilize cloud as our business platform, really so that we could, the business was talking about digital initiatives at that point. And we really needed to provide the infrastructure so that we could support the business as it grew, right? KDP is one that has typically grown. We have organic growth and inorganic growth. And so we typically have a lot of mergers and acquisitions or partners that we take on. We've got over 125 brands in the portfolio of own licensed or partner brands. And then with integration, really, it was to select partners that could help us accelerate this transition. We couldn't do it on our own. We leverage providers significantly. And we really wanted to minimize the risk to be able to support the new organization as we went forward.
So in summary, a great platform for scalability and a partner that can move at the pace of the business to give the ability to you, for you to organically grow or acquire whatever company you need. So take us a little bit back where we are today and which are the project that you have in place.
So initially when we started this transition, the goal was to move the servers from the 6 data centers we had into the cloud. We picked them up and moved them where they were. So we did not see the value in the cloud, right? We really just moved the workloads as they were into GCP. And over the past couple of years, really the goal has been around modernization and taking advantage of cloud native services, things like moving things to Cloud SQL, Kubernetes, auto scaling, things like that. Right, we really now have the ability to leverage fit for purpose workloads and auto scale for things like when customers pound us on Black Friday, utilizing the cloud, we're able to auto scale up. And then when that demand goes away, come back down. As you know, things like that aren't available in traditional data centers. And so it's really allowed us to be more nimble and flexible.
That's a great example. Good, personal experience. Sometimes just go to the cloud and innovate in the cloud, where you have all the tool, all the services. Your people is familiar with that. There are other clients that they just, modernize and then move. But I think I agree with you. It's hard to feel the cloud when you're just taking your old stuff there. You say, okay, it's a different address, but I don't feel agile.
The other thing I would tell you that it's allowed us to do is to really rationalize and look at what we're running. And so being able to eliminate redundant technologies or applications that we have really goes to that fit for purpose and get rid of everything versus just picking it up and using it. The hard part is the business. That's a technology decision we make. The business still likes to hold ownership to say, it works, why are we getting rid of this?
We've run a survey at HCL Tech that'll come out next month, and we'll see the two dimensions, the business pooling or IT pooling is just such evolution to go to the cloud. So let's talk a little bit about the current situation and the economic uncertainty has created the need for you to build new strategies. Can you share with the team?
Yeah, so as with probably most companies in here, customers' needs changed significantly during the pandemic, right? For us, how, when, and where they consumed or purchased their beverages changed significantly.
Absolutely.
Right? What we call is our away from home offices shut down. And so that part of the business went away. Fountain food services. Nobody was going to fast food chains. You couldn't buy it there. Everybody wanted their coffee at home and their sodas and waters at home. And so it really had to change the way that we did things. And really due to these changing demands, we had to continue to invest in technology so that we could meet those customer demands, right? We had to invest in things like supply chain efficiency. How can we produce more, right? To get the product out faster. We had higher than ever demand for certain products. right?
Yeah.
And so how could we invest in technology to fix that? Like I said a couple minutes ago, moving to Google Cloud really has helped us consolidate some of these disparate products or technologies that we had between the Dr. Pepper side and the Keurig Green Mountain side, really into a single manageable platform.
Awesome.
So it's reduced our cost of ownership and has allowed us to really function more efficiently and also address the risk of legacy systems. Legacy systems, if I put my CISO hat on, are a big pain for me because sometimes they can't be patched, they can't be updated, things like that. Also, with ever increasing demand, capacity management is key. And so that auto scaling, the ability to go up and down, being on cloud really gives us the ability to manage capacity overall. And then really utilizing automation, right?
Yes.
One of the things that we really preach over and over is eliminate human error or mistakes that can be preventable. And so the more and more that we can use automation to do simple routine tasks helps us eliminate some of those errors that are out there, right? And then like I said earlier, when systems requirements change, whether it's up or down, this gives us the ability to scale up or scale down to address those peak volumes without having to be locked into a perpetual CapEx charge, right? Moving to cloud really moves you from CapEx to OpEx, and so it depends on what you want to do from a financial perspective. Since I took over 18 months ago this role, one of the things that was also critical was the formation of a FinOps group. So we saw our cloud costs continuing to increase, but it was because of how we had deployed it, right? And so we really enabled this FinOps group, and having a team focus on right-sizing workloads really allows us two things. One, meeting the needs of the business and the function, but also allows us to buy what we need when we need it without having to lock into a long-term commitment or infrastructure that we don't really need. And my challenge to all of you guys are, without a strong FinOps group, you will absolutely see your cost escalate, right? And so this has allowed us to really maintain our cost structure or even reduce it in some aspects from where we were. And really what that provides us the ability to do is use those savings for growth. So.
Modernization. So now let's listen the point of view of the cloud provider. Sonia, what's your point of view?
Well, you know, the question of perpetual volatility, it's an interesting one, and I completely agree with the comment, of course, in the area of FinOps to be able to manage that. You know, stepping back, I think we see broadly across CPG exactly what you mentioned for KDP, because with the pandemic, that was that first point of inflection where, you know, all of a sudden supply chains were being reinvented. They were originally built for cost and efficiency, and now all of a sudden you're trying to drive that flexibility to be able to manage for the changes about what we see happening broadly. The digital consumer, where they're shopping, and as you've said, the changes that took place in consumer shopping habits through the pandemic. So from the peak of the pandemic, I think the general thinking was we'd get into this new normal. But that has not happened, right? We're in this period of perpetual volatility that's been taking place. And to be able to manage that volatility, the importance of just being able to accelerate that transformation and modernization has been critical for CPGs to transform. And to your point, that transformation has now been continuing. You know, before the pandemic, you know, retail and consumer goods, in particular consumer goods, was not at the front of the line in digital transformation. But today, in answer to that question, we're number 1 or 2. And 70% of CPGs are either beginning to put in place that digital transformation or beginning to accelerate it. And those business decisions are being made faster. You know, one of the studies that we've done with MIT says that decisions are taking place now at 2x the rate in terms of data-driven decisions, and that the speed of decision-making is something like 5x faster. And all of that is enabled by moving to that step of modernization, but doing it in a very cost-effective way. And I was going to ask you, Chip, are you seeing for KDP that adopting the cloud has helped to drive faster strategic decision-making for you at KDP?
Yeah, absolutely right. The need really for real-time data and analytics to make those critical business decisions has become more and more important, right? Are we producing the right product at the right time to be able to ship it to those customers, right? And so Adopting cloud has really allowed us to run all of our strategic insights platforms. So we've pulled all of our data and analytics into a strategic insight platforms for all of our systems, really into a cloud native platform running on GCP that's available when and where it's needed, right? And is able to process the transactions and the analysis quick enough so those business leaders, instead of getting a flash report, can really see, based on yesterday, can see where we are today. And so it really allows our business leaders to make better real-time decisions.
Yes, and that is so critical, I think. It is a part of digital transformation that really helps to drive and accelerate those type of results. But KDP has also pulled in, migrated its compute infrastructure and migrated its data footprint to Google Cloud. How has that investment in cloud and in data and AI really helped to transform the overall customer experience, the consumer experience for KDP?
So the consumer experience is key for us, right? So pre-merger, right? You had somebody buying coffee and somebody buying soda. That's one person, right? And we want to be able to provide that customer experience across our portfolio. Yep. And so really, I really see a new transformed experience in a couple of areas. So first, we have connected products. So we have connected brewers that provide us real-time data. We're actually able to change the flavor profile of coffees as they're produced based on the connected abilities of the brewers now. We also like shopping things. We know when you're running out of what you bought, right? And so we can suggest orders. We can also suggest, hey, based on these other things that you've bought, maybe you want these products, right? And so how we engage with the customer, right, really gives us an approach to real-time data so that we can provide a unified and consistent offering to them across our portfolio.
Absolutely. That's the nirvana to optimal supply chain management and client relationship. Now, it all sounds good, but there must have been some problem someplace because these things don't happen by magic. Yep. Sure, you had a great partner with you, but tell us a little bit the challenges that you and your people encounter in this project.
So I would be remiss if I didn't put my CISO hat on first. So security is always key. And I think our customers really expect, one, availability, and then two, security of their data, right? And so the other thing I would say that we've seen a significant, whether it's sustainability or whether it's other things, we really see the regulatory landscape continuing to evolve with higher and higher expectations, right? And we need to make sure that we meet or exceed those requirements because the customer expectations continue to change, right? And so they expect things faster, better, quicker, in a secure fashion, right? They expect new varieties of products, right? Faster than ever, right? Why does it take so long to come out with a new flavor of X, right? We have to provide technology to the business so that they can respond to those demands. And so that's really what I would say is we've got to provide security, but we have to provide it in a way that we don't lock the business down so that we can provide those insights to meet the needs of the business.
And I completely agree with what you're saying. I think that, as we meet with our customers more broadly, really meeting those changing consumer expectations continues to be a big challenge, particularly the need for more personalized experiences. The first step is really always integrating that data. It has to be in a privacy-safe platform. And particularly when it comes to first-party data, properly consented, this becomes critical to be able to deliver the personalizations that consumers both want and they expect today. And that data is coming from a variety of sources, connected brewers being a great example here at KDP, but it could be your online sales or your loyalty programs. And bringing all of that data together, applying the level of AI to be able to drive those personalized experiences is critical to be winning. And we see that definitely in today's environment. We're also helping to improve that personalization when it comes to the area of commerce by areas like applying our capabilities in search and recommendations into the enterprise space. This is a space where, again, consumers expect this experience, and that only increased significantly coming out of the changes that took place in the context of the pandemic.
Right.
And as you said, security in this context is nothing but critical. It's nothing but critical. So we really think about how we are helping to transform security, process, and people with our leading security portfolio, because it's so important to be able to secure your data, and becomes increasingly important even in the context of generative AI.
And here's the magic word. You know, you can't talk about data and of today and not talk about Gen AI.
Yeah.
That's, some people think is a buzz. We at HCL Tech, we have over 130 projects going on from our software. So it isn't. It is a trend that is going to change the business. But what's your point of view, Chip and Sonia? Do you want to share with us?
Yeah, why don't you go first?
Well, maybe I'll jump in and say, I think in retail and consumer goods, generative AI is going to be nothing short of transformative, right? It is going to create and open up a much broader use of AI really across the enterprise. And even today, over the next few days, we'll see at Cloud Next that you'll hear from many customers who are really beginning that transformation journey with us. Our new partnership with HCL is going to allow customers to get to that generative AI value even quicker. But really, one of the first things that our customers talk to us about, even before we can get to the way that generative AI may transform the industry, and I'll talk about that in a minute, is really governance.
Yes.
Really the importance of making sure that your data remains your data. And this is critical, I think, particularly in the RCG area, because impacts not only company reputation, but in consumer goods.
Brands.
We're talking about hugely valuable brand equities, and also being able to ensure that you're securing a high level of just brand trust. So security of data and IP is just one of the areas where we at Google Cloud are very focused to make sure that remains intact and in place, But we are excited. I'm particularly excited as a past CPG practitioner of the transformative nature of generative AI, I think, in the industry. Some of the areas that we see very clearly and are beginning to work on are, first of all, assisting in the area of advertising, creative and content generation. With natural language, you can just prompt the generation now of text, image, and ultimately video, and activate that across channels. And that's going to significantly reduce development time from months into days. Another area is generative AI is going to really help to create those personalized content and to be able to do that at scale. Yeah. Again, significantly increasing value by impacting levels of conversion and helping that to happen faster. In one of my favorite areas, I used to work in the area of product innovation. Now in product innovation, you're going to have that assistant, both in terms of being able to synthesize and summarize insights, in concept generation, in areas of product design, and you can do that with a prompt. So this is going to significantly reduce cost and time for development. Transforming conversational commerce will be another area where we see a significant impact. And that will drive just new levels of consumer connection, engagement, and satisfaction. But interestingly, while customers are starting in this area, they're also immediately starting in the areas of enterprise search. And that's helping broadly functions like HR, finance, legal, really across the enterprise, really again be able to assist knowledge workers in every area with just synthesis and summarization. So the opportunities we see here are very significant. And this is real today, as you've said, Siki. We're working with customers in many of these areas today. We believe at Google, with the decades of research that we have and our investments in AI, the complete technology stack that's so critical to be able to execute on this end-to-end, and really a robust ecosystem of partners, including HCL, we're providing the tools and services that really is all about empowering customers like KDP really to be able to build and really be able to execute with generative AI in both a meaningful but also a very responsible way. So this is going to be a new unlocking of opportunity that we see in the industry for sure.
Absolutely.
And I see, I'll start with your story of enterprise search, and so and talk about a couple things that you said. Right, as we started with the governance at KDP, yep. Right, we've talked about keeping our data secure.
Yes.
Well, as we talk about starting with enterprise search, okay, so it's locked down in a container or in models that's only relevant to KDP. But if I don't, again, CISO hat on, if I don't have the security right, when I go do that enterprise search to say, find this, if the file permissions or permissions are not right, somebody within KDP can get the information that they shouldn't have access to. And so it's not only locking it down with a contained instance, it's also making sure your security permissions internally are right so that only the right people have access to the right data, right? So really where we're looking internally, I think, is really across 4 different areas. And so employee engagement is one of the areas that we're looking at. How can we help our employees get to data faster? Yep. Gen AI around supply chain enhancements, right? How can we do things to speed up supply chain? Document review. We talked about it this morning in the keynote, right? Being able to, for legal or somebody like that, to be able to do document review within contracts or whatever it may be to get to an answer faster. And then IT back office enhancements, right? How are we using Gen AI to do security or other things within IT operations to make our jobs easier so that we're focused on the right things? So it's absolutely there. Key and critical to start with governance, in my opinion, and then roll out from there.
Yeah, Google is extremely focused, as you know, on the governance aspect of this and keeping your data secure and separated so that it's not the public area that you want to have this set up in. It's definitely in the enterprise space. And we do a lot of work in this area to drive that level of security and permissions that are so critical.
So at HCL Tech, we've sealed the moment where Gen AI, great technology, our clients with challenges, our employees that are very curious, technically prepared, and our engineering all coming together, that we, for the first time, probably are going to be able to solve some of the major issues, obviously in a safe manner, because security and governance. But it's a momentum that we feel it on our people. They're very curious, and we feel it on the demand of our clients. And obviously, the Google platform is perfectly suited to solving this issue. So thank you very much for your contributions. So we are going to run a video first, and then we will open for some questions.
Today's digital world has unlocked rich opportunities for the CPG industry to bring value to its customers. However, in the midst of this evolution, certain challenges prevent businesses from achieving their full potential. To overcome these hurdles, you need a technology-driven reinnovation of your business models and solutions that combine data-driven innovation with cloud conversion and AI, so that you can meet your customers' current and future needs today and give them the sustainable, human-centric products and services they expect. HCL Tech and Google Cloud have combined their expertise to build tech-enabled consumer experiences that focus sharply on sustainability, adaptability, cost-effectiveness, and security. These flexible solutions help supercharge customers' digital transformation journeys and create experiences that are loved by consumers and lauded by CPG enterprises. Made possible through HCL Tech's partnership with Google Cloud.